Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's football show here on STV. The main talking points tonight: Rangers boss Mark Warburton says Celtic boss Ronny Deila is disrespectful. Hibs blow the chance to close the gap on Rangers at the top end of the Championship. And we'll bring you the details of the Scottish Junior Cup quarter-final draw, which was conducted earlier today. Alan Rough is alongside me. Peter Martin, our Bootroom guest this Thursday night, is Gordon Smith. Well, the first ding-dong battle has started, and they're not even in the same division yet, Ruffy. But this is what Mark Warburton had to say today. Of course, I think Ronny Deila had mentioned that he felt as if some people who were not in favour of plastic pitches were just old-fashioned. Here's the Rangers manager's retort.
I think if Ronny did say that, I think that's disrespectful because you're entitled to your opinion. I think the one line for me that jumped out of that interview was, number one is a good grass pitch, number two is a good artificial pitch. If you're happy to accept second best, then go for the artificial pitch. If you want to accept the highest standards, then you go for the best quality grass pitch. So that for me was the one sentence that summed it up.
Yeah, there's always a kind of a way a question can be put across, as Gordon reminds us time and time again on the show, Ruffy. So is this much ado about nothing, their little battle?
I think it's great. You know, this is what we've been missing in the last 4 years. You know, let's get them back in together. Let's get the old banter going, the touchline stuff and everything that goes along with Rangers and Celtic. And everybody's got an opinion. But I think this is what we've missed. We've missed a bit of spark in the football for a long time.
Yeah. Do you know, for 1 minute there, Ruffy, I thought you were going to say this is great. Let's see them have a square go.
Yeah.
but really, I don't want any touchline stuff. I mean, actually, at the end of the day, does Ronny Deila have a point, not on people being old-fashioned, because I do think this is a generational thing at times, but does he have a point that more and more clubs will now move towards the artificial pitches?
Yeah, well, in terms of what's going on there, I think they're both wrong, because I don't know if Ronny Deila did mention Mark Warburton, but maybe people think he was having a go at him. Mark Warburton's also wrong to come back and say he was disrespectful. I'm entitled to my opinion. If that's the case, Mark, he's entitled to his opinion as well. So, you know, I always hear people having that argument, saying I'm entitled to my opinion and having a go back. But you're both entitled to your opinion. In terms of where it is, I agree with Mark Warburton that you know, he's right to suggest that first and foremost grass is best, then it's AstroTurf. I'm totally in favour of that, but I keep making the point that we get grass pitches are good for a certain amount of time in Scottish football, especially because of our weather. August are fine, September, a little bit of October. After that, they start to deteriorate big time, and a lot of them are damaged considerably. We're even seeing Hampden is going to have to even now be relayed for cup finals because it's such a bad state. AstroTurf pitches are a good standard and remain the same all through the season. More and more clubs will move for it because, and it's not a case of getting money on it, it's just a case of saying, well, we know what we got from this pitch. The standard is so much higher. They need to prove that there's some sort of element on it where players can get injured more than they do in grass. But they don't get injured maybe, say, because of the pitch on good grass pitches, but there are a lot of rubbish pitches out there too. I've played a lot of them in my time. I even go and see my little grandson training, playing football on a Saturday, and he's playing in a terrible grass pitch. So the standard of grass pitch in general is poor after a certain amount of time. So we're going to have to go down the line of saying, well, if AstroTurf's getting better and better, eventually that's the way ahead.
Yeah, the big problem, Ruffy, is to maintain a good grass pitch. It costs a lot of money. I mean, Celtic and Rangers, I can remember putting out the huge heat lamps just to try and keep the grass growing and a chance to, you know, mow the lawn as well and just get it in pristine condition. And there's got to be the right drainage as well, as Motherwell found out to their cost.
Yeah, but I think most of the clubs, you know, who have got the money, you know, were moving. I think Ronny Deila was trying to explain that we are going down the synthetic way. You know, I think most parks have got a touch, you know, the new surfaces that they're laying. If you get a chance to walk on them, it isn't really 100% grass. You know, it's synthetic and it's a mixture or something. And I think that's what he was talking about, the way ahead. But he's talking 20 years down the line. But anything could happen then. I think it all depends on finance. But Gordon's right. You know, the clubs who are struggling financially will go down that route.
It's maybe much ado about nothing. We'll have to see long term who embraces them and whether it's more and more clubs in the top flight. You can give us your view at Peter and Ruffy on Twitter, facebook.com/Peter and Ruffy as well. Later on in the programme, if you are indeed waiting and wondering, we have the Scottish Junior Cup quarter-final draw, which we recorded earlier today. People were able to log in live and watch it as it happened. We'll bring you that recording again. Ruffy, Hibs blew it last night. There's no other way to, try and make this sound anything other than they blew it.
Nope, yeah, you're right. I don't think everybody at Hibs saw that coming. We knew Morton were playing particularly well. We had Andy Ritchie in the show, and he'd seen them a couple of times, and there was a lot of confidence there. They did do particularly well against Rangers, so there was something that Hibs should have been aware of. But I don't think anybody saw a 3-0 defeat at home. And it certainly is a massive setback for them, considering the run that they were on. But I know Alan Stubbs is trying to put a brave face on it, but that was a massive blow.
I mean, the first goal, Gordon, he heads it from 3 yards.
Yeah, it was an amazing scoreline. I mean, I was watching a Champions League game, and a friend texted me to say it was 2-0 for Morton, and I thought, is he taking the mickey? I did not see that coming a bit. And, it was quite strange because Hibs were back to sort of full strength from the team. I mean, they left out 7 players, didn't they, on the weekend, playing, against, was it Livingston they were playing?
Yeah.
They left out all these players, and then they bring them all back in. So at full strength, I think they're unbeaten since the beginning of the season at home, on a great run. They're talking about going for a treble, not the treble, we'll remember to say that. A treble with the 2 cups and a league. And they were talking about chasing Rangers and catching them, and it just hasn't worked out.
I can't see it, Ruffy.
No,
I think that was a real opportunity.
Yeah, I think Rangers have dug in the last 2 games that they've played and got the result that's given them the 3 points. But certainly last night's having to chase Rangers maybe has caught up on them. Maybe the pressure's just been too much. When you lose a goal at home, you're then looking for a reaction in some players. There's a lot of young players in that Hibs side, and maybe the pressure has just got to them a wee bit to continually to win every week.
Yeah, and now Peter Houston is actually just throwing a little spanner in the works. He said, their emphasis now is catching Hibs. Yeah,
and quite rightly so. You've got to look upwards, and certainly it'd be a massive for Falkirk. It'd be massive if they could get that second place. Obviously, with everything that goes with it.
Yeah, just one other interesting point, which is on the Hibs website today, Ruffy. Now, after consultation with the supporters, obviously the key element for a number of Hibs fans is to try and get the club owned by the supporters. There's the possibility now they can log on to the Hibs website and apply for a new share issue.
Yeah, I mean, I think every club is looking at revenue from wherever, but I mean, the history of what's been going on at Hibs, where the conflict with the owners and the supporters, I mean, I don't know the inners, what's happening there, but certainly if they can come to some agreement, you would think it would be an advantage to the club, but I never ever get my head around the shares, who's going to give up what,
Hearts have gone down that line now. They're going to be fan owned, and I think Hibs will want to follow in suit because they have been pursuing it. The people in the background, even some ex-heroes with Hibs, famous players from the past have been involved in it. So they do want to get down that line. I think have fan ownership as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Just one note, I think everybody in the football show wishes him a speedy recovery, Gordon. Conor McGrandles with a double break for the boy. He was a Falkirk player, gone to Norwich, back on loan, 6 months out. Yeah,
it's such a shame. I saw the pictures of the tackle, and it does make you wince when you see that. It was horrible, and let's hope he's going to be okay. Broken legs are easier to recover from than some injuries, but it's a double break, and I wish the boy all the very best for recovery.
Yep, and just before we hit the break, Ruffy, of course, if you're going to diss the FA Cup in England, the perfect way to do it is to go into the Champions League and defeat Dynamo Kiev 3-1, and that's exactly what Man City were able to do.
Yep, I think we all know what Man City's got. They've got players with quality, they just haven't all been stringing it together, but last night it clicked. and the big players turned up. Toure turned up, fantastic goal, and that's what they need.
Yeah, of course, Gordon, it always helps if you don't want to backtrack and pick up your marker. If you can score a goal like Toure, I think the manager lets you away with it.
Well, he should have had a header before that as well. He missed a clear-cut chance from a header. Aguero, I thought, was in great form. Silva, so they have got talent. It's just a question they don't always produce it, but they've done enough now to get through.
Yeah, can they win it?
No.
That's what I like. Punditry, short and sharp. You don't get any fudging now with Ruffy. This is the new Ruffy on the programme. Can he continue that into the second half of the programme? Only time will tell. What have you got to look forward to? Well, these two guys were involved in conducting the Scottish Junior Cup quarter-final draw, and we'll bring you that with, of course, the Secretary Tom Johnson and the sponsors from Ethics Energy. That's coming up, and we'll also talk about the late, great David Cooper. It's all coming up next. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. I'm delighted that joining Alan Ruff and myself, Peter Martin. Our bookroom guest on the programme tonight is Gordon Smith. Well, earlier today, lots of junior football fans were holding their breath. Some of the managers had already had a quick chat with us, wondering if we were going to be kind to them in the quarter-final draw. Here's how it all unfolded. Welcome to the Scottish Junior Cup quarter-final draw, sponsored by Ethics Energy. I'm Peter Martin, delighted to welcome you to the studio for this quarter-final draw, and also delighted to welcome three important people in this draw. They're going to help us make the draw for the quarter-final, and hopefully, if you're a fan of the 9 teams left in the quarter-finals, they may well be kind to you, pulling out your number and giving you a kind draw, home or away. It's all to be decided. I'm delighted to say our panellists today are Alan Ruff, Gordon Smith and Thomas Montgomery, the chairman of Ethics Energy, who's the adjudicator here to make sure that it all goes smoothly. As ever, Ruffy, with these draws, it gets tense, it gets nervous. You know all about it. You've actually been a manager that's lifted this old trophy.
Yeah, certainly have, and I think at this stage of the game, a home tie is always important, and I'm sure with the teams that are left in the competition, there'll be big crowds going to every one of the ties.
Yep, certainly looking forward to it. And just to draw your attention to the 9 teams, just in case you pick me up there, there are 8 numbers coming out, but Camelin against Kelty Hearts has still to be resolved. That match will be played on Saturday, and then we'll know exactly who is going to play who. Simple as that. So here are the numbers that you might want to look out for here. Number 1 is Arthurlie, number 2 Auchinleck Talbot, 3 Beath, 4 Hurlford United, 5 Kilbirnie Ladeside, 6 Kilwinning Rangers, 7 Pollock, and the aforementioned tie still to be resolved, number 8 Camelin Juniors or Kelty Hearts. And no surprise, Gordon Smith, it's amazing how many people run into you in a week. I ran into the Arthurlie boss Stevie Kerrigan, Tony McAnally of Pollock, and they're saying make sure we get a good draw.
Well, there's not much you can do about it. It's the luck of the draw more than anything. I agree with Ruffy. There'll be some cracking games. You look at the teams there, like big teams, junior teams that have been successful in the past, and I think that no matter who plays against who, it's going to be great ties. Even home advantage doesn't always work in the cup, but most teams will want a home draw. Yep,
absolutely. We want excitement as well, and the draw's always special, Ruffy. So I had a look. I spotted 2 bits of paper there. Rangers and Celtic, they're not in the draw, so we might as well just throw them out of the way and concentrate on the juniors. Thomas, you're the man from Ethics Energy. We're delighted that you have sponsored the tournament this season, and long may it continue. You've got to offer the home side for Gordon to pick out, and then Ruffy, you're going to pick out the number for the away team. So let's get it underway. It's over to you, Thomas.
Well, I will be more popular than Ruffy because I'm pulling out the home draws, so they'll be more pleased with me. And the first one is number 3.
Number 3 is Beath.
Number 1.
Number 1, Arthurlie. Okay, quite a good tie to start with. Should be fairly calm.
Number 6.
Kilwinning Rangers.
Number 8.
We'll play Camelin Juniors or Kelty Hearts?
Number 4.
Hurlford United.
We'll play number 2.
Auchinleck Talbot. And the last 2 numbers, Gordon.
At home is number 7.
Pollock.
We'll play number 5.
Kilbirnie Ladeside. And that completes the draw for the Scottish Junior Cup quarter-final, sponsored by Ethics Energy. Let's get a bit of reaction to that. Ruffy, is there a standout tie for you?
I think the whole Ayrshire is just about to erupt with obviously Hurlford and Auchinleck. That'll be a fantastic tie, a fantastic atmosphere, 2 clubs at the top of their game. Great tradition, as Gordon said, in the game, and a massive game for even neutrals if they can get tickets for this one, because this will be absolutely jam-packed.
Yeah, that's going to be a special game. And of course, Gordon, when you look at some of the previous winners as well that are in there, they'll look at the draw, they've avoided maybe some teams, Pollock, I was looking at and wondering if Arthurlie were going to be drawn in the same part of the section with them, but they've avoided it.
They have avoided it. I mean, Pollock have got a home draw though, and they pull big crowds in for Scottish Cup ties as well. Ruffy was right about the Hurlford game against Auchinleck. It's 2 recent winners, isn't it, that playing in that tie, so that's going to be amazing. But I think they'll all be good games, and I say, regardless of how it works out, we're going to have some cracking semi-finals too.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, let me run through the draw for you once again so that you are completely au fait with what's going to happen in the Junior Cup quarter-final. It's Beath against Arthurlie. Co-winning Rangers will play Camelin or Kelty Hearts. It's Hurlford United against Auchinleck Talbot, and Pollock against Kilbirnie. Good luck to all the teams involved. The ties will take place on the 12th of March with a 2:30 kick-off, and as we mentioned before, Camelin against Kelty Hearts is actually going to be resolved this Saturday. Thanks to Thomas Montgomery for the sponsorship through Ethics Energy of the Scottish Junior Cup, and from Alan Ruff, from Gordon Smith and myself, Peter Martin, thanks for joining us live to watch the draw. Yeah, we did that earlier. Exciting, Ruffy.
Yeah, it certainly is. Obviously, the Hurlford Auchinleck one, you know, they played each other last year. It was a tremendous game, a lot of history between the 2 clubs. As I said, it'll be well attended. I would think you're talking about maybe 2,500.
Yeah. Was there any particular reason, Ruffy, when you were drawing it, you looked up to the heavens and then you did this? Is this,
I was just trying to make sure.
Audience?
I was just trying to make sure that they actually knew what the number was and who it was. You know, because a lot of people will be now. That'll be the talk of the steamy that game.
Okay, just before we finish tonight, Davy Cooper would have been 60 today. A great loss to the Scottish football community. No doubt many Rangers fans will have special memories of him. I can tell you, many a Clydebank fan, Gordon Smith, and many a Motherwell fan, and of course Scotland fans as well, will have special memories of him. Yeah,
well, I've got special memories. I was a friend. We signed at Rangers about a month apart in 1977. He was there first, and then I joined the club. So the 3 new players that got in the team were Davy had been signed from Clydebank, myself, Kilmarnock, and then Bobby Russell, who come through the juniors, who was absolutely outstanding. I was a good friend of Davies during that time, kept in touch with him. Brighton tried to sign both of us together, funnily enough, and I left the club, but I kept in close contact with Davy, and actually it was meant to meet him the next day for lunch on the day he died, and I was so sad about it. He's a great loss. He was a lovely person. A lot of people think he was a bit quiet and deep. He wasn't. He was very friendly, nice guy, and I've said it many a time, in terms of individual talent, of ability, of all the players I played with in my career at all levels, Davy was the most talented in terms of footwork and ball work.
Yeah, and of course at international level, Ruffy, he should have had a lot more caps.
Yeah, he certainly should have, and Gordon's touched on it, the ability. He was way ahead of most of the players. To me, he was more of a sort of a international continental player. He could curl the ball, he could hit the ball with the outside of his foot, he could do that wee free kick, the special free kick, and certainly any time that we played Rangers and the team lines come into the dressing room, that was the first name I looked at to see if he was on it, because if he was on it, I knew he was in for a difficult day, because he had so much ability and you never knew what he was going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's 1,000,001 great goals. I think the Motherwell fans look at how he inspired them to the cup final glory, just even in the twilight of his career. One of my favourite goals, Gordon, is the Drybrough Cup final. I've witnessed a few great Old Firm goals down through the years, but that one was special. Even if you get a chance to see it on YouTube, up and over 3 players, side foots it into net, walks away as if it's the norm.
Yeah, that was a fantastic goal. That just summed up his ability. I think a lot of people say. I think Ruud Gullit once picked him out and said what a fantastic talent he was. But that was a magnificent goal, and a lot of people don't realise that we'd actually played West Ham on the Friday night, 7:30 kickoff, and then Celtic the next day at 3 o'clock. So that game was not even 24 hours after playing against West Ham. So that was Coop was so skillful. But you know what, funny thing was, Peter, I think Motherwell get the best out of him. Do you know why? Because most of the time players like that, they put them on the wing because they couldn't tackle, and that's where Davy got put in the wing to start his career. But when he went to Motherwell, he had a free role, and he was absolutely brilliant in that role.
Yeah, dearly missed right across the whole of Scottish football. Davy Cooper, well remembered today. He would have been 60. Thanks to all the junior guys for helping us earlier on with the draw, from Ruffy, from Gordon Smith, and from myself, Peter Martin. Do join us tomorrow on STV Edinburgh, STV Glasgow at 7.